What you eat today is how you live tomorrow.
We're shifting gears from the gym floor to the kitchen and into the broader world of wellness. She's the founder of Generation H, a concept store that's redefining what clean eating and conscious living really looks like. Toni-Maria.
I grew up being a foodie. I love to eat, but I also grew up fearing food. I lost myself. I lost my health. أول شيء my mom did was she took me to a dietitian. Her dietitian made it worse لأنه she gave me a very restrictive diet.
You said that even as a dietitian or nutritionist, there are things that you weren't taught.
My first child suffered from severe eczema and asthma at the age of 2. ما تركنا medication ما جربنا من cortisone ل steroids. So شفت homeopath doctor. She told me check beyond the label. I detoxed my cabinet in 2 months. إذا أنا dietitian و I was misled by labels, how about all the families out there?
Yeah. So what is clean eating for you?
Clean eating is food that is as close to its natural form as possible. What you eat at the age of 6 is how you live by the age of 60. Every word you spread out there on social media is impacting a lot of people, even if one person.
What's next?
That's a very big question.
Welcome back to another episode of the JNP podcast, where we dive deep into real conversations around performance, wellness, and the pursuit of living better. Today's episode is a special one. We're shifting gears from the gym floor to the kitchen and into the broader world of wellness. Because let's face it, no matter how much we train, if the nutrition, mindset, and lifestyle habits don't align, the results don't either. Joining me today is someone who's making waves in the wellness scene across the UAE, Tonie-Maria. She's the founder of Generation H, a concept store that's redefining what clean eating and conscious living really looks like. Her brand is more than just food. It's a movement, a culture, and a reflection of her values. Whether you're someone trying to make better choices with your diet, looking to understand trending topics like gut health, GLP-1s, or anti-inflammatory eating, or just want to live a more aligned lifestyle, this conversation is going to speak to you. Toni brings clarity to a space that's often filled with confusion. So get ready, because this episode is packed with insight, honesty, and no fluff. Let's get into it. Toni, welcome to the JNP podcast. We've been actually planning this for a while now. تقريبا شي شهر. I'm happy to have you here. We're going to dive deep into lots of talks. Before we started, you were saying some money shots. So I'm actually very happy to have you here.
Likewise, thank you so much.
So before heading into all our talks, I just want you to give me a background about you. ليش فت بnutrition? شفت you're a nutrition expert. You started Generation H. You just told me تقريبا 10 years ago. So take me a bit through your journey, okay. So that people know basically how you ended up being where you're at now.
Okay, so أنا my story مع health and nutrition started way before Toni Nutrition, way before Generation H. I grew up being a foodie. I love to eat وبعدني لهلا. بس I also grew up fearing food. كنت لاحظ إنه جسمي بينصح بسرعة إذا شوي I indulge in certain things. So I grew up having this negative relationship with food, my body. كنت كتير عندي emotional eating. So بتخبى كنت أكل بالسر من أنا وصغيرة. And then actually I pursued my إنه كنت بدي أدرس medical student. So عملت أول سنة pre-med. وبهيدا السنة نصحت كتير يعني I lost myself. I lost my health. صار عندي كتير health issues و mental issues as well. So بس رجعت على لبنان كنت أبرد. بس رجعت على لبنان بتذكر أول شيء my mom did was she took me to a dietitian. يعني أول ما فتحت عيني she was like I have to take you to a dietitian. You're lost. وما كنت بعرف شيء عن nutrition. ما كنت بعرف. كنت بس إنه براسي إنه إذا باكل قصص اللي بحبها حأنصح. وأنا لازم كون ضعيفة لأنه كل اللي حوالي حلوين وضعاف وفت. So كان كتير عندي complexities. ورحت عن dietitian وهاد dietitian made it worse لأنه she gave me a very restrictive diet to the point I became borderline anorexic فيك تقول.
Okay.
بس it was a wake up call for me إنه nutrition shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be calories. It shouldn't be restrictive. There must be something else about this word of nutrition. So I transferred من pre-med and I started my nutrition studies. Oh, that's how I got immersed in the world of nutrition, wellness, وكل هالقصص يعني. It is a lot more than just calories diet body shapes. وتعلقت فيها كتير. So بلشت nutrition رجعت عملت healthcare marketing masters. واشتغلت for many years, almost 10 years in pharmaceutical marketing.
Okay.
So كنت اشتغل مع pharma marketing. I think that was another wake-up call for me that medicine is fundamental. It is needed. It is essential. But nutrition is the core. لأنه with nutrition, you can prevent a lot of diseases and you can heal as well. So for me, yes, medicine is power, but nutrition is core. And it starts at a very young age. Generation H was born after my passion to nutrition, my interest in creating healthier generations. So yes, بلشت 10 years ago كان بدل الاسم Generation H means healthy, happy humans. I had a vision of creating healthier generations at schools, at a governmental level. But I was busy with work, surviving, busy life in Dubai. So the dream died, إذا بدك تقول. After being a mother, my first child suffered from severe eczema and asthma at the age of 2. Like any other mother, you want the best for your child. So I was very anxious. I was overwhelmed. I thought I was doing all the right things. So ما تركنا medication ما جربنا من cortisone ل steroids. بعد almost a year of medication, he wasn't getting better. يعني كان من وقف medication بترجع.
Okay.
حسيت إنه في شيء. Like I cannot continue like seeing my son on medication for this long. So شفت homeopath doctor. She's a very old Indian doctor. I think she was the wake up call أو changed يعني the way I see food in general. She told me, go beyond the label. Check beyond the label. قلت لها I give my son organic all natural no sugar. قالت لي check beyond the label. رحت على البيت that day I was shocked. أكيد كان عندي كتير قصص organic بس أول ingredient كانت sugar. حتى لو organic sugar كان في كتير قصص أنا فكرتها healthy for him طلعت like full of additives و preservatives. I detoxed my cabinets. شلت كل شيء. In 2 months حسن.
Wow.
Until today ما عاد استعمل any medication. So in 2 months, Johnny, a year of suffering was resolved. His health became better. His mood became better. So شفته like thriving من جوا لبرا by just detoxing my cabinet, by just being a bit more aware of what I'm giving my child. So قلت لحالي إذا أنا dietitian و I was misled by labels, how about all the families out there that are confused and being misled as well? I have to do something. And that's how Generation H was born. So Generation H is more than a shop. It's a mission. It's a movement to provide access to truly healthy products and truly healthy news as well and information and awareness. فهيك بلشت Generation H من nutrition بلشت من my own struggles and Generation H بلشت with me being a mother and wanting the best for my children.
Wow. That's honestly an amazing story. When I went a bit through your content, by the way, I love your content. You simplify things in a crazy way that, like you said, makes it accessible for everyone and they understand it. You talk a lot about clean eating. What is clean eating to you? Because like you said, we're always misled. I'm talking mainly about more general population.
Yeah.
So what is clean eating for you and what's not clean eating?
So clean eating is a broad term.
Yeah.
We hear it a lot. For me, clean eating is eating food as close to their natural form as possible. So I would say 90% of your food comes from home cooked meals, from ingredients that exist in their natural form, the vegetables, the proteins, the grains, حتى the spices, كل شيء. And if you want to eat packaged food, لأنه we live in a very fast-paced life, ما فينا نتكل كل شيء يكون homemade. يكونوا ingredients minimum و everything you read you find it in its real form. يعني dates, nuts, seeds بتلاقيهم بالطبيعة مثل منهم. كل شيء بتقريه على الليبل ما بتفهمه. Add emulsifiers, artificial sweeteners, numbers بتشوفهم a lot. For me, this is not clean. So clean is food that is as close to its natural form as possible, whether it is home cooked or packaged. هلا clean eating is not being restrictive. يعني you can't be 100% perfect and clean all the time, and we should not be.
We can't sustain it.
It's not sustainable. Plus, there's something people maybe are not aware of is that our bodies are detox engines. عنا liver, عنا الgut, عنا power بالسيستم تبعنا قادر يعمل detox للstranger bodies. بس المشكلة صارت إنه when we're overloading our organs and we're overloading our body with so much toxins and so much chemicals بطل عم بيقدر يشتغل بالطريقة المضبوطة. بس if we balance وناكل شوي clean eating ونتف صغيرة we indulge in things we know that it's not clean, that's for me how you can sustain it. So it's not being restrictive, it's not trying to be 100% perfect. It's being aware and being empowered and knowledgeable of what you're eating, and you decide what you want to eat and when.
Now, talking about decisions, في كثير ناس they don't know where to start from. They're just because there's so much information out there ما بيعرفوا شو وين يبلشوا. So what advice would you give for such people if they want to go for healthier habits, to start some I don't know, healthier food consumption, healthier choices? What's an advice you might give them to know where to start from?
Hala, you're right. There's a lot of trendy diets, fad diets, quick fixes out there. So I can understand the confusion, the overwhelming. I always advise my clients to start with their plate. On the plate, to make sure there's enough protein, good carbs, and plant-based vegetables food. To start with reading ingredients, it takes you 10 seconds to flip the label. If you spot any word you don't understand, put it back. Or if you're really craving it, have it, but just be empowered and knowledgeable about it. And third, I would be by starting small.
Okay.
Small habits build up. You can't restrict yourself whole week and binge on Friday. It has to be done small, consistent way, and small steps lead to big changes that last for life. So I always advise them, start small, start with one habit at a time, whether it is starting with water in the morning instead of coffee, or whereas like eating without phone distraction. Any habit you think it is affecting how you live, try with that small habit. And then once it sticks in, start building another. So that's what I always advise. Start with your plate, start with small habits, and be knowledgeable about what you put inside your body.
Okay. So now talking about small habits, what are some small habits people can do to start shifting that change, to start changing? Any tip that you can give for someone to shift the way they're living?
I think the essence of how we live is having good energy and good focus, good sleep, and good mood. So if I want to address these good feelings about living, especially in a place like Dubai, I would start with breakfast, regardless what time that was, whether it's an early or mid-noon breakfast. The first thing you eat, let's say, should be high in protein and fiber.
Because we have lots of people who actually skip breakfast and they just go for 2 meals a day and they skip completely the breakfast, which I believe is one of the most important meals you need to have during your day?
Yes, I hear a lot of people, they don't have appetite for breakfast and they skip it. But Anna, for me, breakfast is how you break your fast.
Okay.
So it's the first meal of the day, whether that was your lunch or your like traditional breakfast. It should contain a good amount of protein. By good, I don't mean a full chicken. I mean, if we are talking about women, it's the size of your hand of animal-based protein like chicken or fish or meat, and good fiber. Fiber is something people neglect a lot, and it's as important as protein. So a good balanced meal in the morning or whenever you break your fast to balance your blood sugar is one of the most important small habits you can start with, and it's life-changing. You can't imagine that the feedback I get from my clients when we do this. Like, I tell them, just start your day like this. Let's drop the biscuits with coffee. Let's drop the coffee alone. Let's drop the oats with oat milk or the matcha latte and start with this. You pick the time, but start with this. And their whole day shifts. Their energy, their binge eating later, their craving shifts. It's crazy. So if I would pick one small habit to start, it's this one.
Okay.
The second is water. Start your day with water and make sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day. I like to pace it half a cup or 1 cup every hour. It becomes really automatic in the body. For me, if an hour passed, like there's something that it's time for water. It really becomes so embedded in you. And third would be focus on your sleep. Like it's not easy to be disconnected from the digital and your telephone or your mobile.
Especially now,
Especially us and people who work remotely, or it's a way to be connected with life, but it changes a lot to keep it on the side before you sleep and do some journaling, read a book, sing, yoga, meditation, whatever, because sleep is as important as nutrition for a healthy lifestyle.
Like even as a trainer, people start asking me about supplements. They want to take that extra step and they're not even going through the basics, which in my opinion are nutrition and proper recovery, which is sleep. So when you get these right, you'll get the benefits even when you're training, which is sometimes things that I face with my personal clients.
People think they're like a magic pill or a quick fix to something that we can actually address naturally. And supplements, they have their role. We're not saying no, but as you said, if someone's not sleeping well, if he's highly stressed or he's not having the right amount of nutrients and balanced meals, having creatine or magnesium or any now trendy supplements will not fix it. It will help you. It's called a supplement.
Agreed.
So yes, the fundamentals, the basics needs to be there. For me, the basics are your plate to be balanced, to be blood sugar friendly. Of course, the more like antioxidants and anti-inflammatory food there is on that plate, the better. Water, because you can survive without food, but you can't without water. So water is extremely important. And managing your sleep and your stress, for sure.
Now, talking about quick fixes. Quick fixes is something we encounter daily, especially as a trainer and as a nutrition expert. GLP-1s.
Yeah.
Which I think is the most trendy topic that we're encountering nowadays. First, what's your take on GLP-1s? Then we're going to dive deep into that topic.
I'm not against GLP-1s. I'm against how it's being used in some cases. So is it a shortcut or is it something good for the future? It really depends on how it's being used. There's no doubt that GLP-1 are really helping patients or people to balance their blood sugar, to lose weight, like around 10 to 15% of their weight, to feel better about themselves. So it is addressing this big, issue that we have in the world we live today with the increasing rate of overweight and obesity and all the diseases that follow. But if I want to go back a bit, Are you overweight and obese and you have blood sugar problems because physiologically you were born to be like that? Maybe some cases, yes,
Okay.
but majority is because of habits.
Agreed.
GLP-1 is a guide, is an aid, but it doesn't fix your habits unless you work on it. So if you want to take GLP-1 to lose weight or to address diabetes, which is why it was created in the first place, it has to be done in parallel with a good nutrition plan and lifestyle changes that become for life. Because now studies are showing that people who stop taking GLP-1 after a year, they're regaining the weight or more even. Because their habits didn't change, their mindset didn't change, their lifestyle didn't change. So yes, it's a quick fix for these people. It helped them lose the weight, look how they wanted to look for some time. But after they stop taking it, there's no more this thing helping them. So it is good for future if you do it with the proper nutrition. Make sure you have enough protein because it helps you lose weight, but it also leads to a lot of muscle mass.
Agreed.
And I'm sure you know that muscle is our longevity organ, especially for women after the age of 35. We need muscles to stay young and to balance our hormones, and for everything we need muscles. So if you want to take it, make sure you're having enough protein. You invest in strength training and maintaining, if not building muscles, and make sure you have the right support for it, and just don't go over the counter and take it just to look good for a wedding or for summer season. So yeah, I'm not against it, but I'm against how it's being used just for a quick fix for weight loss.
I definitely agree with everything you said. If it's done the right way, it will benefit you. If it's done the wrong way and for the wrong reasons, it will do more harm than good in the future.
Yeah.
Now, you said you should get enough protein intake. Can we be a bit more specific when it comes to that?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you will lose fat, but you will also lose muscle mass if you don't do it the right way. What's a tip you can give, like in terms of quantity for men and for women when it comes to that?
I think the word protein is overrated these days. A lot of people are obsessed with high protein. I need more protein. And actually, I get a lot of questions, like not questions, statements that I'm eating more protein because I want to gain muscles. It doesn't work like this. If you eat more protein, it doesn't automatically convert into muscles in your body. You have to be doing the right training with it.
Of course.
A progressive overloading, or you're the expert to grow that muscle. Because if you consume more protein, and if that eventually is leading for you to be consuming more calories, that protein will convert into fat.
Definitely.
So yes, protein is essential because protein, first of all, gets digested slower. So it helps you feel fuller for longer. So eventually, you will probably be eating less calories than eating only a high carb diet. But it's not only the one. It doesn't play by itself. So for women, if they are doing weight training, so if their goal is to like build on muscles, I would say around. It actually depends on their weight and so many factors. But a good range would be between 90 to 100 grams of protein to 120 grams of protein. And just to clarify a bit is that 90 grams of protein is not equal to 90 grams of chicken breast.
Yes.
So just to give an example, like one chicken breast has around 30 grams of protein inside. So if you consume 3 amounts of your hand size or palm size of animal protein, you're getting around 90 grams of protein. So you're almost there. It's not that you need to stuff yourself with protein food.
Talking about this, I've actually felt that, like, I had clients who were telling me, yes, but I'm eating this amount of chicken. I'm like, if you're eating 150 grams of chicken, that doesn't mean you're getting 150 grams.
Exactly.
So it's actually a misconception we're facing.
Yeah, and I face it on a daily basis. That's why whenever I onboard a new client, I always take them with the fundamentals of nutrition. Right. And for men, I would say it's a bit more. It also depends on their training. probably between 120 to maybe 200, maybe a bit more if you're more into bodybuilding. Some people some experts like to use a formula of 1.5 times your body weight in kilograms. So 1.5 to 2 times your weight in kilograms. For me, I like to go case by case. But there's always this range for women and this range for men. But obviously, as I said, protein alone doesn't, work. You need the good carbs with it, and you need the fiber with it, and you need the water. So it's
when we're talking good carbs and fibers, can you give examples, please?
Yes. So there's a lot of fear on carbs on a daily basis, whether it's moms for their kids or like moms for themselves.
وقفت carbs.
وقفت carbs. عم بضعف وقفت carbs. أول شيء إذا بتوقف carbs بقلك أكيد حتضعف لأنه أكترية البروسيسد فود اللي بناكلهم واللي هن بينصحوا هن carbs. بس هل حتضعفهم حيضلهم for life ضعفهم؟ لا. يعني the moment they start eating a bit of carbs بيرجعوا بيعبوا لأنه what they're losing at the beginning is water. It's not actually fat.
True.
The good carbs are carbs أنا بحب سميهم complex carbs اللي هن examples مثلا sweet potato. بيقولوا لي sweet potato لا بقول لهم sweet potato is a superfood. أنا for me is a superfood. It's very high in fiber it has a lot of potassium يعني much more than white potato and it helps with PMSing as well لأنه فيه potassium فيه magnesium فيه all these nutrients بقلبه. So
girls, eat sweet potatoes, please.
Sweet potato. Even for breakfast يعني I eat it with eggs. It's so good. حتى potato I love it. مثلا when it comes to rice, I always tell them like opt for long grain like basmati rice instead of short grain rice. Quinoa, for example, is a complex carbohydrate. كل شيء يعني root vegetables, beetroot, carrots.
Quantity wise قد ايه تقريبا عم نحكي؟ تقريبا. It depends definitely. But
it depends. If my major like customers are women, so بعطيهم a fist of a hand for cooked carbs. double for men. أكيد depending on their goal. In every meal. ممنوع يجي meal بلا ما يكون carbs. Like they have to learn how to balance. So إذا أنا عندي plate, دايما بقول لهم نص هالبليت يكون خضار. Vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, asparagus. والنص التاني نصه يكون protein ونصه يكون carbs. If you do this for every meal, I swear your life will change. And it did for many of my clients. So carbs is not the enemy. Carbs, you need it for fiber لأنه whole grains مثلا البرغل, الكسكس, oats, they're carbs and they have the soluble fiber that we need. That's another topic, الفايبر. فبعتقد حنعمل session تانية عن الفايبر. The plants, you need them for antioxidants, you need them for fiber as well, and the protein you need it because it's the building block for everything in the body. Okay.
So you spoke in the beginning a bit about gut health.
Yes.
I don't think everyone knows what you mean by this terminology. So can you talk a bit about that and how our nutrition affects our gut health?
Okay. So gut health is, for me, the most important thing. Your gut is your most important organ in the body. Of course, your heart and your brain is, بس تالت شي بيجي your gut. بيقولوا كتير بتسمع كتير إنه your gut is your second brain. أنا I would tell them your gut is your first brain because it's leading the orchestra in the body. It directs everything from your mood to your immunity to your hormone production to everything. And the gut منه بس the digestive tube that starts from the mouth and ends in the rectum. The gut is house of trillions of microorganisms من parasites لا viruses لا bacteria, the good and the bad. وإذا بنحكي عن هالgood bacteria, their role is to digest the food, of course, but also to produce anti-inflammatory bodies, to help protect. They're like an army. So they protect whatever goes inside your body from the exterior world. أنت بدك تعتبر الجت هو اللايننج between شو عم تاكل وجسمك البلاد ستريم. فقوة الجت تبعك هي اللي حتحميك وتقوي لك مناعتك من كل شيء اترانجي or stranger بفوت على الجسم. بس هالجت بيصير ويك أو بنوصل لشيء اسمه leaky gut. stranger bodies they start leaking through لأنه هالارمي اللي نحن كنا عم تحمينا من الكيميكلز اللي بناكلها من undigested food بطلت strong. so صاروا يفوتوا هالليكي they leak inside the gut into your bloodstream. What is the first thing that will happen is that your body will encounter something that is a stranger and it will fire. And this is what we call inflammation. So حيصير عندك شيء اسمه acute inflammation which is needed. It's your survival. فينا نحكي عن inflammation هلأ بعد شوي لأنه I think it's a very important topic. هلأ إذا دلت هالإترانجي stranger bodies عم بيفوتوا على الجسم ودل your جسم in an inflammation period, this is what is called chronic inflammation and this is where your body starts fighting itself. أول شيء بيبين هو the skin. بصير عندك قصص مثل dryness, eczema, psoriasis, a lot of autoimmune skin diseases as well. ببلشوا من هالchronic inflammation اللي هي مبلشة silently من الجت ما حيكون عندك symptoms. في كتير عالم بيفكروا إنه عندهم gut health issues إذا عندهم bloating أو constipation أو diarrhea. It can be silent and it can be firing up your system slowly and فجأة بصير عندك كل هول diseases بنبلش we wanna treat it. For me the gut is the army that is protecting you. 70% of your immunity cells are in your gut. 90% من serotonin is produced in the gut. So that's why when your gut is inflamed or troubled, you can't be happy because your happy hormone 90% is in the gut. بعطيك example.
Yeah, how does it happen where your gut gets super inflamed? You get all these strange bodies getting into the bloodstream
from ultra processed food. Consistently eating ultra processed food ingredients your body doesn't identify, body cannot digest. So بصير عندك كتير it's trying to digest it بيتعبوا. High sugar diets, which is aligned with the highly processed food. Stress, having intolerances that you weren't aware of. So, for example, gluten intolerance or dairy intolerance that can be also acute, not necessarily for life. And antibiotics.
Okay.
And هلا بالصيفية I was in Lebanon and the wave of viruses was so high. The first thing people do without even consulting a doctor is popping an antibiotic. This is ruining your gut microbiome it's ruining your health. So antibiotics, lack of sleep, stress, and a lot of lifestyle things. But I would say the number one is your diet and a heavy ultra processed diet.
Okay. You just said about inflammation, anti-inflammatory food. Can we a bit explore what do you mean by that? Because I have lots of clients who talk about they make choices based on how their body might react to certain food choices. So can we talk about that a bit?
So أول شيء بحب أشرح عن الانفلامation
even in training we need that inflammation
exactly to heal.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's you need it to survive. يعني if you cut yourself you need inflammation. If you get a virus you need inflammation. I like to compare it with fire مثل ما خبرتك. So you need fire to cook something. But if that fire stays on for a long time it will burn the whole house down. So المشكلة هي بتصير إنه بس هالinflammation عم بتطول عنا لأنه we're not addressing the root cause of it which is your nutrition and your gut. عم يصير عنا chronic inflammation اللي هي can attack your body. It starts with the skin, it can be your lung, it can be your kidney, it leads to diabetes, heart failures. يعني it's not a joke. Chronic inflammation should not be taken lightly. So I believe an anti-inflammatory diet is not a temporary plan to follow. Of course, for conditions that have autoimmune diseases or have any disease related to high inflammation in the body, it can be insulin resistance as well. That now it's like I get a lot of clients every day telling me they have insulin resistance, and I look at their blood results, and it's because of inflammation.
Yeah.
An anti-inflammatory diet is a lifestyle. Okay, and for me, it's how we should be. If somebody wants a healthy lifestyle, they should follow an anti-inflammatory diet, not necessarily restrictive. So it's not AIP, which we call an anti-inflammatory protocol.
Okay.
An anti-inflammatory diet is very similar to a Mediterranean diet. Okay, it's high in fiber-rich food, grains, vegetables, omega-3, so fatty fish mostly. It's high in good fat like olive oil, avocado, some kind of nuts as well, and high in protein. It's really gut friendly, blood sugar friendly. So all these things already صرنا نعرف إنه they are crucial for a healthy lifestyle, your gut health and your blood sugar. So an anti-inflammatory diet or a lifestyle is one that protects the gut. So it has a lot of gut healing food مثل kefir, yogurt, probiotics, fermented food, kimchi, sauerkraut. It has high fiber food, soluble or insoluble, that we need to balance the blood sugar and we need it for the gut health microbiome. It is high in omega-3, which is an anti-inflammatory fatty acid. عنا الأوميجا 3 والأوميجا 6 فينا نحكي عنهم كمان.
Please feel free to talk about whatever you want.
هلا, if you go online and you do a research and you ask ChatGPT if you want about the most powerful diet and the most studied diet, it will tell you the Mediterranean diet. It is still till today the number one diet that helps prevent a lot of diseases, من depression لألزايمر. ما عم بحكي heart disease, ما عم بحكي diabetes, صرنا نعرفهم هول. عم بحكي قصص هلا عم نعيشها. depression rate بالعالم doubled if not more. Anxiety, Alzheimer, dementia, all can be addressed by having a well-rounded Mediterranean or anti-inflammatory diet. بنحكي عن الأوميجا 6 وأوميجا 3 إذا بدك، خاصة when it comes to seed oils. تسمع كتير إنه لا هيدا فيه seed oil ما لازم ناكله، هيدا فيه seed oil ما anti-inflammatory و it's bad for you. I am one of them. يعني أنا I am one of those dietitians that tell you avoid this bread لأنه بيقلبوا فيه palm oil وكانولا oil و it is highly inflammatory. بس في شيء يعني we have to all understand إنه there's two types of omegas or essential fatty acids اللي هن الأوميجا 3 والأوميجا 6. Okay? الأوميجا 6 is the inflammatory fatty acid والأوميجا 3 هو الأنتي-inflammatory fatty acid. You need both to survive. We already established the idea is that you need inflammation to survive. هلا أول ما بلشوا من زمان كان الراتيو they used to say إنه the ratio of omega 6 to omega 3 has to be 1 to 1. يعني you need to balance the omega 6 with omega 3. بعدين اكتشفوا scientists the ratio of having 1 to 1 is not possible. لأنه الأوميجا 6 is much more available in food than omega 3. Omega 3 you find in fatty fish اللي هو ما كتير عالم they consume. يعني you need to consume at least 2 times per week a fatty fish like salmon or sardine or you know tuna. حتى يعني not even tuna to have enough amount of omega. We don't have enough omega 3 in our diet. Okay, to balance the omega 6 اللي هو available in all nuts, walnuts, almonds. يعني احنا بناكل كتير منهم مش بس بالseed oils. It's available in seeds. It's also available in seed oils اللي هن الكانولا, البالم, الكورن اويل, كل الفيجيتابل اويلز almost are very high in omega 6. فthat's why اكتشفوا ان لا هال 1 to 1 ratio is not sustainable. Let's do it 4 to 1.
Okay.
The ratio in USA now is 60 to 1. 60. لأنه omega 6 containing oils are now everywhere. Anything you look the ingredients, you're gonna find ya sunflower oil, ya canola, ya palm oil, ya vegetable oil. Which is something you talk about a lot in your content. A lot. Yeah. لأنه it is inflammatory if it's consumed too much of it. And when the ratio becomes out of balance, يعني when it's not anymore 4 to 1, this is when it becomes inflammatory, because that's when the inflammatory fatty acid is too high in your body, so it's working more. My issue is with this omega-6 being so present in a lot of food that we consume that's becoming unbalanced with the omega-3. هلا بس when we look at it as is standalone, omega-6 has a lot of roles كمان other than inflammation. It also lowers LDL. It has a lot of heart, protective. That's why till today, when you go to a hospital, very well-known hospital, and you do any kind of heart surgery, they give you like a nutrition protocol to follow. They tell you instead of butter, have the canola oil or sunflower oil. لأنه till today studies still show that having a low saturated diet and one that is higher in PUFA and MUFAs, which are like omega-6, protects the heart. هلا this is another huge subject. I will not go deep into it. But I believe that shaming seed oils on its own is not fair because they do have some role.
It's about how you consume them.
Exactly.
More or less.
It's how they consume and how to use them. So if you're using them for deep frying, أكيد it's bad. لأنه the issue is that they're also sold in plastic containers and they're easy to be oxidized. So eventually you're consuming them in a bad shape. And whenever you have highly processed food that are bad for you, لأنه they are highly processed, you find them as well. So this is when it's becoming inflammatory. It's not them alone. It's how they are stored, how they are used, and in which food they are being used the most. Hala, if you buy a cracker that is made of oat flour and sunflower oil and salt, let's say, I wouldn't tell you it's bad for you. I would tell you, be aware that you're consuming sunflower oil here. It's still better than eating something with emulsifiers and stabilizers. But balance it with olive oil in the house, with fatty fish, with avocado oil. So it's all about how you're balancing and keeping that ratio in balance.
I love that because I do believe, and like we said in the beginning, balancing is everything. Like as long as you're making the right choices that are not extreme, you can always find ways to manipulate those choices.
Yeah.
So we spoke about Generation H. Generation H is more, I said in my intro, it's more of a movement. It's not just a store. Because, first of all, the way you market it, the way you talk about different subjects, you help people make the decisions instead of telling them, no, this is bad, no, this is good. You educate them for them to make the choices. So talk to me a bit more about why you took that approach and how do people respond to such approaches. Personally, I told you I'm a big fan of your content. When I met you at the gym, I had absolutely no idea that you post this stuff. Yeah. But honestly, I love it.
So Generation H, the concept that it is today was born from my community, actually. So when I was doing a lot of, I do a lot of gut health online workshops. So I work with a small group of women and I try to shift their mindset, but also how they approach buying food, and I do small swaps. And with these small swaps that I do, we see tremendous impact on their health and their life. Because I always tell them, healthy lifestyle starts from how you feel inside. If it's making you good from the inside, it will reflect to you outside.
Definitely.
And by doing these small swaps, they became more interested. Okay, what about this product? Is this Toni approved? Is this not Toni approved? And then there was one lady who told me, we feel we need a PhD to be able to know what to buy and what to avoid these days. Thank you for sharing this content. Keep doing it. So I was like, okay, there's a lot of, gaps. And honestly, I was one of them. And I told you my story. And even as a dietitian, I didn't know because they don't teach you these things in university. I self-taught myself everything about ingredients. Until today, I'm still learning because the world keeps changing. And then there was one lady and she told me, I wish you can create a shop where everything you approve, you sell it there just to make our life easy. We're moms, we work, we don't have time to go and read ingredients and we are making like the wrong decisions on spot, and they don't want to make the wrong decisions. They truly care about their health and the health of their families and their kids. They genuinely want to make the right decisions. They just don't have the right tools or the resources to do that. And because doing the small swaps changed the life of my son, changed my life as well, I wanted to change the life of others. And you know that I started as a medical student because I always had that call inside of me that I want to help others however I can. So I found that Generation H is a great way to help them because I make healthy food accessible. They don't have to read ingredients. We do the homework for them. I check every single label. I verify it. I approve it, and then it goes on the platform. There's no compromise. And I already getting a lot of feedback from people that their life became better, easier. Their kids are loving the snacks. Of course, the shift is not easy at the beginning.
For sure.
Because including my kids, like when I tell them this is from Generation H, immediately they tell me, no, we don't want healthy.
Yeah.
So I stopped telling them it's from Generation H, and I tell them this is a very yummy treat, because they got used so much to these highly processed food. I will not name any brands now, but I was giving them because they're marketed kids friendly. You have the cartoon figure on it. There's high in calcium label on it. They got used to this taste that they won't accept healthy things immediately. But if you remain consistent and you just swap all your pantry and you say, this is what it is what we have now, they will get used to it and they will love it. You will love it, they will love it. Happy kids, happy wife, happy life. Everybody healthy, happy humans eventually. So and it's not just a store. I'm trying to create a movement, a community of people that they want to feel empowered again. They want to be more in control of their health and their life. And because it starts with kids. So yes, the focus is a lot on kids-oriented products because what you eat at the age of 6 is how you live by the age of 60. And that's our quote. You find it on our website. What you eat today is how you live tomorrow. And yes, so I'll keep working until we build healthier and healthier generations. And it's Generation H also, Johnny, because anyone can be a generation. You're a generation. My mom is a generation. You have different kinds of unlimited generations in the world. So if we all do small things to make our bodies healthier, the body that's taking care of us, you're nothing without your body, you will live a longer, happier, inshallah, life. So
no, I love it because, as you also know, I train kids.
Yeah.
So to me, when you build a solid base at a young age, whether it's training, whether it's nutrition, habits, this is something that's going to stay with you for a long time. So like you said, what you eat at 6 will stay with you until 60.
Yes.
So I love that. I love the fact that you educate. To me, when you educate, people will make better choices for their kids. Once their kids get used to it, they will pass it on later on to their kids.
Exactly.
So it is actually generational. So I love that. You said that even as a dietitian or nutritionist, there are things that you weren't taught. You self-taught yourself.
Yes.
And I don't think all dietitians or nutritionists went through what you went through.
Yeah.
So what's an advice you might give them to help them educate themselves for them to be able to help more people?
So as a dietitian, as any professional, I believe, we should never stop at what we studied in university. We should always be up to date with recent studies, and there's no one size fits all. I would say, if you want to talk as a dietitian, there's no one size fits all. Every case is different. So I believe every case is a learning opportunity for me as well, to research, to know where to research. I don't follow just wellness trends that you hear them on social media, even as a dietitian. They're great because whenever I hear a trend or somebody sends me, Toni, what do you think of this? the first thing I do, I go and I research it, and I research it and well-known
Of course.
publications, not just on
Google.
ChatGPT
Google.
even, or ChatGPT
Yeah.
or Google. So be aware of what you're sharing with others, because it impacts them in ways beyond you. Every word you spread out there on social media is impacting a lot of people, even if one person. I
Agree.
get a lot of messages, Johnny, on a daily basis from people really overwhelmed and really confused and anxious, and they just don't know what to believe anymore. And just be responsible. Be responsible. If you are on media of any channel, be responsible of what you're saying. Make sure it's evidence based, it's science led, because nutrition, as we said, is the core. It's the fundamental, and and it's really impacting people's life. Be the positive change and not the negative one.
I love that because we are actually in the business of changing people's
Yeah.
lives, whether it's nutrition, whether it's training. I do believe, and from what you've said, you're definitely doing it for the right reasons. And especially when you spread information, you know that people are looking that. So if you can affect positively a single human, you are actually doing something good. So I love that. I definitely agree. Now, we spoke a bit about Generation H and what you've done. What's next for Generation H and for Tony? You're obviously very ambitious. You want to grow. You're doing it for the proper reasons. What's next?
Ugh, that's a very big question. So I started Generation H as a one-man show. Okay. From negotiations to operations to supply chain. The last supplier, for example, he sent me. I asked him, "Do you have healthy products other than this one?" He said, "Yes, we're a big distributor of healthy products." I'm like, "Can you send me your product list?" He sent me 5,000 SKUs.
Yeah.
I was like, are these your healthy products? I just want the healthy products. And he's like, yes, these are all healthy. Can you guess out of these 5,000, which ones were approved for Generation H?
Tony approved. I don't know. I assume none. Or
لا,
not none. A very,
حرام.
very low number.
Like less than 10%.
Yeah.
So what's next for Generation H is obviously like expanding the product range, getting more products on board, but it's not, I'm taking it slow because I'm very, as you said, these 5,000, I didn't put it on ChatGPT or any AI tool. I read them like word by word. So it takes time to onboard new products. So definitely the next step is getting more products that deserve to be under the light of truly healthy out there and giving the people access to truly healthy products. I always like to start with local.
Okay.
I believe here in UAE, there's a lot of initiatives to create truly healthy products that deserve the light. I get really frustrated when I go to the supermarket and I see these brands on the low shelf or hidden,
Yeah, true.
because it's very expensive to list your product next to the counter, and they deserve the light. So Generation H is for that also. It's not only for consumers, it's also for brands that deserve to see the light and to be under the spotlight that they are truly healthy to be there. So I always like to start with local brands. And third is to, we have also services. One service is Healthy Home.
Okay.
So Generation H is on a mission to house by house to create healthier households, and it all starts from your kitchen. So soon we're gonna launch a new Healthy Home service. Also corporate.
I love this because tomorrow actually they're gonna hand over my apartment.
Okay.
The first thing that crossed my mind is I'm gonna have a healthy household,
Yes.
and every single product coming inside my house needs to be
Tony
healthy.
approved.
Tony approved.
Or Generation H.
Yes.
I believe so as well. So you spend the most time in your house and in your office. So the second service will be corporate based as well. And as much as we can do on the ground activations, initiatives, being collaboration with brands, all under the umbrella of healthy living in UAE and maybe outside UAE soon as well.
Okay.
We'll keep it for
You
later.
just threw it out there.
Yeah.
Toni, where can people follow you and connect with you in case they want to inquire more about Generation H?
So we're very active on social media. For Toni, they can follow me at Toni Nutrition, and for Generation H at generationh.ae. They can also check the website generationh.ae, and I'm personally handling all the communication there on both accounts, so they can reach out to me at any time. Happy to support in any way I can.
It was honestly a pleasure having you. I
Likewise.
loved the conversation. I do believe we're going to have a part 2 later on.
Inshallah.
So thank you for sure.
Thank you, Johnny. Likewise. And yalla, inshallah to more healthy generations. And thank you for everything you're doing as well.
It is my pleasure.
Yeah.